A very inspirational speaker who will be giving speech number 10 out of the manual, Inspire Your Audience. He will be speaking for 8 to 10 minutes. He's a traveler. Since he was last year, he's been to Colorado, to Tennessee, and back again. We know him as a hunter, a backpacker, a biker, and most of all, we know that he knows the science of cooking. Help me introduce our president, Derrek.
No, I'm not supposed to use notes. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. How many country western singers does it take to change a light bulb? Well, just two. One to change it, and one to sing about all the good times they had with the old light bulb. What do you get when you play a country song backwards? Well, you get your wife back, you get your house back, you get your truck back, you get your dog back. Those are jokes, but they're funny because there's a little bit of truth in them. It's because country music tells a story. There's a lot of story, and there's tradition in country music. And a lot of times we can relate. Every occasion there's a country song out there that you could find. Just a couple weeks ago I was sitting at a red stoplight in my car, country radio on. This song came on, Tim McGraw's My Next 30 Years. And for those of you who are not familiar with the song, it's about a man on his 30th birthday reflecting on his past 30 years and making goals and reflections on what he wants his next 30 years to be. I don't know if any of you remember, but I turned 30 myself just 2 months ago. And so as I was sitting in the car, I was doing a little bit of reflecting on my own. And there's 3 areas in my life that's been undergoing a lot of change. And I think tonight, I just want to talk about those 3 areas of my life. Maybe talk about what I've learned, my little bit of reflection, and little pieces of wisdom that maybe you can take away. First area that's undergone change in my life is personally and relationally. For one, I am in an excellent relationship right now with a sweet gal, a southern gal. Her name's Meredith. We're not quite to the point where we're engaged yet, but I feel like we're very close. But relationships weren't always that easy. There's a long road of broken hearts to get there. A lot of breakups, a lot of crying, a lot of tears, a lot of pain. But what I've learned is you cannot be a victim. You can grow from that pain, from those broken hearts, and make your current relationship better. And I've learned that everybody's different. Not everybody's perfect. The grass isn't always greener on the other side, or with the next person. But the grass is greener where you plant it. What? And where you water it. So what are you watering? What are you planting with the relationships that you are in? Are you giving compliments? Are you giving of yourself in service? I bet if you do that, your relationships will blossom and they'll become better. Another thing I learned with relationships, I want to tell this as an illustration story. There once was a boy who had trouble keeping his tongue and controlling his anger. And his father noticed that, and he brought his son. He's like, "Son, I'll give you this box of nails. And whenever you lose your temper or say a mean word, I want you to take a nail and go hammer it into the fence." So that's what the boy did. First day, man, he lost his temper a lot, said a lot of mean things, nailed 38 nails into that fence. Boy's like, boy, I'm going to need more nails. But day after day, week after week, as that boy learned to control his tongue, suppress that anger, pretty soon, he was putting less and less nails into the fence. Until one day, he didn't put a single nail into the fence. He ran and told his father, Dad, not a single nail was put into the fence today. I'm getting better. I can control my anger. And so his father said, okay, son, every day that you don't lose your temper, you can control your anger, I want you to remove a nail from the fence. So that's what the boy did. Day after day, week after week, he removed his nails out of the fence. Then one day, there was no more nails in the fence. Went and told his father. His father then brought him to the fence and said, son, you did a good job controlling your anger, removing the nails out of the fence. But look at the fence. There's still holes in there. You can still see the imprints of where the nails were at. So as it is with your words. You say hurtful things, and you lose your temper, lash out in anger to other people, it leaves its mark, just like those nails did on the fence. The second area, my life undergoing change, is my new job. And to segue into that, being nice to everybody, being giving, is you never know when you're going to meet them again, or when they're going to help you out. In this job, I wasn't looking for a job, it just kind of came to me. But I'm working with a lot of the same people in the food industry, with apples. My job's with Deco US Post Harvest. They make chemicals for fruit after they're harvested and when they're put in cold storage. My job there is as a product development manager, looking for new ways and new markets that we can use our chemicals. And it's a really cool job. I'm very new into it. I don't know all the details of what I'll be doing yet, which is kind of cool. There's a lot of autonomy. I might be going to Chile later this spring, working with different markets and around the world scientists. What I've learned in this area of my life is no job's perfect, but in your job, find a little area where you can be an expert, where you can grow. And that sometimes is a skill that will get noticed, and that will help you out with the next thing. Another thing I noticed in this particular area of my life is live on the edge of what you're comfortable with. If you're a little uneasy with what you're doing, well, that's an area of growth. Where you're uncomfortable is where you can grow, become better. And you have to take risks. This new job, it's a little risky. It could not work out in the end, but at least it'll be fun trying, and I'll have a story. And it could propel me into something even bigger and better. In changing jobs, you see new culture, new company culture, the way they do things, and it brightens your experience level. The third area of my life undergoing change is right here, Toastmasters. I'm the club president. That's a big deal for me. Sometimes I don't like getting up here and having to speak every week. But again, I'm on the edge of what I'm comfortable with. And it is on that edge of uncomfortability where I'm developing a skill. Another thing, earlier this year, I set the goal of I wanted to finish my Confident Communicator Manual. And to do that, I wanted to give one speech a month. There were a couple months where I slacked off. I was in Alaska or traveling around the world, Alabama. But tonight is that night. This is my 10th speech, my Confident Communicator Manual. That's a big deal to get that award. Another goal I set out to do this year in Toastmasters was to compete in the competition, of which I did the humorous speech contest. And on October 28th, I was at the district level as one of the 5 finalists. Even though I didn't place very well that night, I still had fun trying, and it was a great experience as a skill set. That just goes to show, if you set goals and have an aspiration and have deliberate effort, you can accomplish that. Now I want to quote the great Toastmaster philosopher, Jack Bevere. Jack said in one of his speeches earlier this year, if you wait long enough to start your life, you will have lived it. Now that's an odd way to put it, which is probably why it stuck with me, but Jack's right. If you wait long enough to do something, you'll have lived your life. You won't have time to start. So what are you not doing right now that you want to start? Is there a goal out there? Maybe in your relationship? Maybe something personally? Maybe it's with your job? Or maybe it's with Toastmasters? I'd like to encourage you to reflect on your life, as I did when that country western song came on the radio. Looking back on my past 30 years, they were great. But hopefully my next 30 years and the next 30 years will be even better. I think I'm on the right trajectory.